at the Renton Library. It's part of the King County Library System, and there were some moms who were at the event that they put on, and they told it exactly like it actually is happening with these drag queen story hours. The event that they had in Washington is described as a pride celebration designed by teens for teens, and the most rainbow-filled fun you can imagine. It includes activities like open mic and karaoke. Other activities listed are presentations on safer sex, a drag show, an advice panel, and a free binder raffle. And it's supposed to be, according to the event page, suitable for tweens and teens, so ages 10 to 19. Now, if you read that as a description, you may think, oh, you may actually overlook that the fact they said drag show, but you may not think, oh, it's that bad. But these moms went and undercovered actually what happened. We actually have some video of it. And what you see in that video actually happened after the fact. So it was after hours. This event went on until about 5 o'clock at night. And then the library actually told all the adults, unless they actually had their teenagers were in the room, having the youth attend the program, that they had to leave the room and go out in the waiting area because this was a teen-only portion. So what you saw was a teen-only portion. And so this is where the whole story kind of unravels and gets really interesting, is because the PR specialist for the library said that there were 2 women in the room who refused to leave because it's their tax dollars going to this teen-only event. And so these women, one of them is Lynn Meager. She said she would not leave. And so they were escorted out of the library because they called the police on them. And they wanted the women to leave because the police would ensure that the teens had a safe and welcoming space to finish their program. Well, Meager said that her and this other woman were later surrounded by 4 men who threatened, filmed, blew whistles at us, and told us our pictures and license plates were going on Twitter.
More doxing.
We had to call 911 in order to get to our cars safely. So Antifa, they said it was Antifa is the one who put out the call for this, doxed the 2 women on Twitter, and they actually said, "Thanks, comrade." And this really ties into what's happening now to Elizabeth Johnston. I mean, just for her calling out these drag story hours, she's being doxxed. She's being threatened, stalked. They want to find her. They have it on Twitter. They want to find her husband's work address, her own phone number, and they are basically hunting anyone who speaks out against their drag shows.
10 years ago, you would have been justified to call men dressing as women and cavorting in front of little children perverted. Now, to protest that on a public facility, a library, is considered perverted. Look, here's a piece of insight, I think, and you tell me. I don't think I've heard anybody approach this story from this angle, these drag shows. If what you say you want to do is to acclimate kids to transgender people and to acclimate kids to homosexuality, why wouldn't you bring in a local business owner who's gay and have him talk to the kids about what it means? Why wouldn't you have a responsible working adult, transgender person, show up, or a couple of them show up in normal business clothes and express to children what it means to be transgendered? If what you want is to get kids to understand that, why are you bringing in men flamboyantly dressed as women to cavort and to sexually innuendoize your kids? What does that have to do with the actual experience of transgender people? And doesn't that beg one final question? If the American Library Association actually sees this glaring, garish caricature of what it means to be gay and transsexual, how come they're not being called for stereotyping, for generalizing, for bigoted exploitation of a group who is much broader than this? Why are these questions never being asked anywhere? Well, you heard him here, I think, first on the Dr. Duke Show. These are the questions we should be using to counter what the librarians think they need to do to our kids.